with technology, digital technology, I have a confession to make. I have a love-hate relationship with digital technology. In some ways, I think it is absolutely brilliant. Just in terms of communication, even social networking sites, the net, I think it is absolutely brilliant. I think of Skype, for instance. A few weeks ago, I was Skyping with friends, one of whom was in England, the other in China, another in the US, and the four of us are talking at the same time, in real time, and can see each other's faces. Now, I know for many of you, you're like, yeah, so what? That's what we live in. But even go like 10 years ago, 10 years back, 20 years back, this kind of thing, this kind of technology, it was unimaginable. So there are many streams of digital technology that I think are just absolutely amazing. I love them. But there are other ways in which I despise digital technology. I find it to be disruptive, and actually in some ways impersonal. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. I'm sure it has, but have you ever been in a conversation, and this has happened to me, by the way, many times, but have you ever been in a conversation with someone who, is a friend of yours, and actually you're talking about something serious, maybe even personal, and you're talking to them and they're doing something like this. Yeah, no, I got you, yeah. Keep going, yeah, I'm listening. I got you. Has that ever happened to you before? They might be saying they're listening, but you know they aren't listening. And actually, many computer scientists, sociologists, psychologists have said that even the whole idea of multitasking is a myth. Now, let me just get something right out there from the very beginning. I'm not going to be hating on digital technology. That's not the point. So if you're thinking, oh, here we go, this guy's going to sort of be banging the drum of like, don't do technology, stop with the net. No, that's not what I'm doing. I actually think when you think of technology, I want to suggest to you that putting technology, digital technology, the net, social networking sites, into a place of either good or bad, I actually think that's a category mistake. The issue with digital technology is not whether it is good or bad. The issue is this. It has the power to change the way in which you and I live. That's the issue. Digital technology, specifically, I'm going to focus on the net and social networking sites. These things have the power to change the way in which you and I just do life. And that's why I put the title human. How do we somehow retain our humanness, like what it means to be you, what it means to be me, our personhood, what it means to be human in a tech-out world, tech-crazed world? What does it look like? Now, what I want to do in the next few minutes is look at what is our world like? Because some of you might be saying, hold on, you're saying tech crazy, but I get the tech part, but it's not really that crazy. It's just, yeah, there's tech. I want to suggest to you that actually, well, first I want to look at what kind of world we live in. Now, the reason why I'm looking at the world is because so much of our world, and when I say our world, I mean you, me, us in this room, is taken up online. It's on the internet. We spend so much of our lives on the internet. So we need to look at, okay, what is the internet like? And then I want to look at, okay, how do we manage this well? How do we live well? How do we live in a way that actually we really want to live? So what is the world like? Well, when we look to the internet, I want to suggest you, I want to give you the first word. The first word is distraction. Distraction. Sociologists, computer scientists have said that when we look to the world of the internet, it is a world of many distractions. One person, I like what this guy said. He said, the state of the internet is a place in which you are taken from distraction to distraction by distraction. How's that? Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, let me just give you one example. Imagine one evening in which you actually just want to do a lot of reading online, maybe on your tablet or your computer at home. And so you're reading, you want to get like 3 hours, maybe even 4 hours, lots of reading done online. So you're reading, you set out to read. I want to suggest to you that at some point in that evening, you will encounter something called pop-ups. Pop-up tabs. Now, what are pop-up tabs? Well, they're simply, for those of you who don't know, many of you I know will know, but pop-up tabs are just tabs that appear on the screen from different platforms on your computer, notifying you of different things. Maybe computer software will pop up a tab saying you need to update the software. You might get a pop-up tab from Facebook, or someone wants to FaceTime you, or someone wants to Skype you, someone has sent you an email, and you're getting these pop-up tabs. At some point, you may click on one of those tabs. And that's, throughout the evening, you will find, there's a good chance that you will find that you have clicked your way from distraction to distraction by distraction. And if you're anything like me, you might say, well, hold on, yeah, okay, I clicked on that email tab, but that was because it was an important email. Or I clicked on that Skype tab because actually I needed to Skype to that person. I would say, absolutely, those are important things. Those are important relationships, and the list goes on. But the fact still remains, that is a distraction. The world in which you and I live, so much of it is spent on the internet, and the world of the internet is a world of distractions. The second word is connectivity. All of us long for emotional connection. And the striking thing about our world is that we are experiencing, in this moment, in our particular cultural moment, such a high degree of connectivity via and through electronic media. It's really unparalleled. But at the same time, we are lonelier than ever. Maybe some of you in this room are lonely. Maybe, you just need to look on the news, and you see story after story of celebrity or non-celebrity, people who are longing for emotional connection, and they're looking to electronic means, social networking sites, even the internet, and they're coming up empty. They're not getting that emotional connection. We live in a world of connectivity, but at the same time, we are lonelier than ever. Distraction and connectivity. The third word is image conscious. What do I mean by image conscious? What I mean is we spend a disproportionate amount of focus on ourselves. And images, appearances, the way things look, the way other people look. Now, you might come back. I love interacting with people on this and saying, I disagree with that. I think it's, that's bogus. I like when people say that because then we can interact. But because I've actually interacted at this point thinking, well, so what? Even if we are sort of overly concerned with how we look and how people look, that's just the way life is these days. The problem with that, the reason why that is a problem is because if we spent a disproportionate amount of focus and time on how things look, how we appear, how our friends appear to us, we lose sight of what really matters, and we gain a distorted view of reality. Have you ever been on the internet and maybe Facebook or other social networking sites, and you see people on there, maybe friends, and you're like, man, this person looks like they're having a really happy life. Like, they're always happy. All the images I see, all the pictures are always happy. There was actually an article about this yesterday, actually, in a news agent called Huffington Post, and it was actually an article about loads, like thousands of actually Britons, as I said, British people who are suffering from depression because of this. They're looking at through social networking sites, they're seeing the lives of others, their friends, and they're all happy, and they're actually looking at their own lives saying, I'm not really that happy. But this guy over here, online at least, he looks like he's having a happy life. Now let me illustrate this a bit. Now, are you with me? Does this make sense so far? Yeah? Shake your head or say, no, you're boring, actually. Let's go to Q&A. Let's get another speaker up here. Okay, let me flesh this out. A couple years ago, actually in 2012, there's an article in The Atlantic magazine. It was not a Christian magazine. And the title of this article was called, Is Facebook Making Us Lonely? And in it, the journalist chronicled two types of Facebook users. One, active Facebook user. Another, passive Facebook user. Now, active Facebook users were those who use Facebook as a primary means, like a really important means through which to connect with others. It was almost like a default email platform. They would set up meetings and set up like a sort of a spot on their Facebook page where it would sign up for people to meet at the football field after the concert and that kind of thing. And they really connected with people on Facebook. That was active Facebook users. Then you had passive Facebook users. Now, passive Facebook users didn't really use Facebook to connect with anybody. In a way, they were sort of, one way of putting it, they were just stalkers on Facebook, okay? They just looked, they had a Facebook account to look at other people's lives, their friends' lives. Now, I know none of us have ever gone on Facebook to look at other people's lives, what our friends are doing, but just like hypothetically, work with me here, okay? That was passive, okay? Now, here's the showstopper. This journalist, through psychological research, through a lot of academic research, showed that passive Facebook users showed higher levels of mental distress and emotional distress than active Facebook users. What does that mean? it means that there were higher levels of depression amongst those who were passive Facebook users than those who were active Facebook users. Why? Why is that? Well, let me sort of just paint a picture for you. Imagine with me, if you will, Monday morning. A couple days from now, you get up in the morning and you're not feeling well at all. You go to your mom or your dad and you say, I'm not feeling well. I actually feel really, really sick. I can't go to school today. And they say, okay. So after that, you go back to bed. You stay in bed until approximately 3 in the afternoon. Now remember, you're in bed, you're in your pajamas. You get up out of bed at 3 in the afternoon, you open up your computer, and you go on Facebook. And you look at one person's Facebook page, and you see all these pictures that they've just uploaded to their Facebook page of, warm beaches. They have this vacation in Florida. They're uploading all these pictures. Warm beach, sun, blue skies, happy faces, and milkshakes. It's really happy. And you think, man, that looks nice. I wish I was there. My friend looks pretty happy there. Then you look to another Facebook page of a friend. And this friend actually has just uploaded a picture of an award ceremony at the school at which you attend, in which they have received a prestigious award. And you think, oh man, I missed out on that. I wish I got that award. And so you think, okay, well, I'll move on to another. So you move on to another friend. Their Facebook page, they've just uploaded a photo of grande caramel frappuccino. And they say above it, this has just changed my life. Amazing grande caramel frappuccino. And this does you in. Because you think, look, I've got this one friend who has received all these awards today. I missed out. Then I've got this other friend who's in Florida. I mean, I'm not there. I'm here. They're warm beach, sun, blue skies, milkshakes, happy faces. And then this other person over here, they just got a grande caramel frappuccino. And look at me. I'm alone. I'm in my pajamas. It's 3 in the afternoon. I'm doing nothing with my life. Now, I exaggerate that. But why do I say all these things? If we spend a disproportionate amount of time focused on just how things appear, we lose sight of what really matters. And more than that, we gain a distorted view of reality. Because images, the way things appear, are not always the way things really are. Image conscious. The fourth is conformity. Conformity. What do I mean? Well, digital technology has the potential to draw us into a place where we project expectations that are specific to technology onto other areas of life. Let me say it another way. There's the possibility, strong possibility, that you and I project different expectations that are found in our distinctly categorized as technology onto relationships or friendships. Let me give you an example. Think of efficiency. I mean, this is one of the markers of digital technology. I mean, as I said earlier, at the click of a button, you can send a message across oceans, and within seconds, that message is received and the person has responded to you. It's amazing. It really is amazing. But just think if we start projecting that kind of principle onto relationships, onto friendships. Efficiency. Say this week you have a conversation with someone and it's one of your best friends, and there's something that you have not told anybody, and you want to share this secret, this thing that is actually very personal to you with another friend. It puts you in a very vulnerable position, but you do it. You meet with this person. Let's just call this person Jason. You meet with Jason. Jason's a good name. It's not this guy over here, just by the way. Hypothetically, trust me, it's not Jason. You meet with him, you sit down, and you actually tell him what's going on. And at the end of the conversation, you feel like you've put a lot of trust up there. But you think, no, I feel there's a lot of trust here, and I think, hey, he'll keep this confidential. The next day, you're at school, and you see another guy. His name is John, and the three of you are actually really good, mutual friends. And you see John, and he said, hey, Jason told me about the conversation you had. He said it was actually really serious, really pretty intense, actually. And you say, yeah, actually, We did. Well, what did Jason say? And John looks to you and he says, oh, Jason just said he felt the conversation was efficient. Now, what would you be thinking in that moment? You might be relieved because Jason didn't say anything else. But there's something profoundly deficient about that response. Because when we get into relationships, when we're in friendships, we want more than efficiency. What do we want? We want actually people to be patient with us. We need our friends to be patient with us. We need someone to listen to us. So here's the thing. The net, social networking sites, this world in which we live is one of distraction, connectivity, emphasis on how we look, how others appear, and its conformity. There are strong possibilities of us actually bringing expectations of technology into our lives. How do we overcome this? Because we have to ask the question, what is it that we really want? What is it that we really want? For friendships, I want to give you some advice here. Practice patience. Practice listening. Think of ways in which you can act and live in distinctly human ways. Now, I think different technological platforms are great. Texting, FaceTime, WhatsApp, the list goes on, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. I think they can be great. But the next time you might be thinking of, say, emailing someone or messaging them, maybe think of saying, hey, why don't we talk? Why? Why should we do that? Because actually that's part of being human, the messiness of life. Texting and those messages can be clean. Like, hey, got the message, see you soon. This can be efficient, it can be great. But actually when you're having a serious conversation, you might want to say, hey, let's talk about this, face to face, or over telephone. Now, is it messier? Yeah, it is messier. But deep down, that's actually part of who we are. A good friendship is not marked by efficiency. Good friendships are marked by patience, by listening. And we cultivate that, develop that through doing these distinctly human acts, listening to people. Maybe even when you're in a conversation, not looking at your phone. When you're having a serious conversation, just saying, hey, look, I'm going to listen to you. You've got my full attention. What about God in all this? How does this apply to God? One of the fundamental beliefs in Christianity is that God speaks. God speaks. The thing is, we don't actually, if we're honest with ourselves, we have to ask the question, how much time do we take to listen? I want to suggest to you, the issue is not whether or not God speaks. The issue might be, are we listening? Are we taking time daily to be quiet? And just a bonus tip here, take time daily to go offline. Daily, go offline. Just so your brain can sort of just quiet down a bit. Just a practical, it can help immensely. Friendships, God, I think Christianity has a lot to say to this. We do live in a world of distraction, connectivity, image conscious, and conformity, but actually Christianity speaks profoundly to this. Practice listening, practice patience. Take time to be quiet, to listen to what God is saying to you. And go offline daily. Thanks very much.